All right, let's talk about something that so many of us are dealing with: how to take back control of our lives from all the modern distractions and addictions out there. Today, we're diving into a really powerful, no-nonsense framework inspired by the YouTuber Hamza that's all about reclaiming your focus and your time. Let's get into it. So, let's start with a really honest question. Do you ever do that thing where you tell yourself, oh, I'll just play video games for an hour, or maybe I'll just scroll on my phone for 5 minutes? You know the drill. It's a justification we all use, but as we're about to see, it's often the first little lie we tell ourselves in a much bigger story. And that little lie is at the heart of our first big idea, the lie of moderation. This whole concept that we can just cut back or reduce our time with things that are literally designed to be addictive, well, according to this framework, that's a huge mistake. It's just not how it works. To really get this, we need to meet a character, an archetype, called Jeffrey. Now, Jeffrey is that voice inside all of our heads that makes excuses. He's the one saying, it's fine, it's not that bad, or I got it under control, I only play for an hour. But this way of thinking argues that this is just a convenient lie, a way to avoid facing the hard truth that we've kinda lost control. So what we're looking at here are basically two completely different paths in life. On one side, you've got Jeffrey. His life is all about consuming video games, junk food, content. It's a life lived through a screen. And on the other side, you have the Adonis archetype. This is the ideal, a life focused on real-world stuff. Being in nature, spending time with people you care about, actually creating your life instead of just consuming someone else's. Now, if you're struggling with this stuff, it's so easy to beat yourself up and think it's some kind of personal failure. But this is where the framework completely flips the script. This isn't just about you and your willpower. Oh no, it's you against a massive, incredibly intelligent system.
I mean, just look at this number, 1 million. Think about it. You are one person up against maybe 1 million of the smartest minds on the planet. Scientists, engineers, marketers. Their entire 9-to-5 job is to figure out the exact right color for a notification, the perfect sound, the perfect algorithm, all designed for one single purpose: to keep you hooked.
And once you realize that, once you really get that this is not a fair fight, not even close, everything changes. These apps, these games, this junk food, they aren't just harmless products. In the battle for your attention in your life, they are the competition. They are the enemy.
And this is why this next point is so important. If you've made any progress at all, I mean even a little bit, you need to understand what a huge victory that is. In a world that is actively engineered to keep you distracted and consuming, fighting back at all is remarkable. It's not even supposed to be possible. So seriously, give yourself some credit.
Okay, so we've established it's a battle. We've identified the enemy. So what's the plan? How do you actually win? This isn't about little life hacks or installing some app blocker. This is about a deep, fundamental shift in your entire mindset.
The game plan really boils down to this 3-step mental shift. First, you have to get aggressive, even angry. You have to learn to hate these bad habits for what they're stealing from you. Second, you stop trying to reduce and you move to eliminate. Moderation is a trap, remember. But the last step, the most important one, is completely changing your self-image. It's about changing who you believe you are. Let's talk about that first step, aggression. There's the passive approach, right? The, oh, I should probably spend less time on YouTube approach. That guy almost never makes progress. Then there's the guy who gets fed up, who gets angry about it, who says, you know what, screw this, I'm done. That aggressive energy, that righteous anger, that's the fuel you need for real change.
And that brings us to the real game changer here, moving from trying to being. Look at the difference in the language. I'm trying to quit leaves the door open for failure. But when you change your identity, you start saying, I don't do that. I'm not a gamer. I don't smoke. It's not a goal anymore. It's a fact about who you are. And that makes all the difference in the world.
Once you make that identity shift, it leads us to the final, critical piece of this whole framework. This isn't about some temporary 30-day detox or a New Year's resolution. This is about forging a brand new lifestyle. So what happens when you slip up? Because, let's be honest, you probably will at some point. It is absolutely crucial to see it as a setback, not a total failure. The gym analogy here is perfect. If you go for a heavy lift and you fail a rep, do you just quit weightlifting forever? No, of course not. You rest, you try again later. It's just part of getting stronger.
I mean, seriously. Imagine that guy, he fails one bench press set and goes, well, that's it. I guess I'm not a weightlifter anymore.
It sounds completely ridiculous, right? But that is exactly what so many of us do with our habits. We have one bad day, eat one cookie, play 1 hour of a game, and we throw the whole thing away. But if your identity has truly changed, a setback is just that, a single event. You just get right back to being who you are.
So, at the end of the day, this isn't about getting a perfect score on some 90-day challenge. It's about making a decision. It's a choice about what kind of life you want to live, and more importantly, what kind of person you are going to be, starting right now. The framework is all here. The only question left is, who will you be?